Is obesity a choice? The pervasive belief is that this is a very simple binary choice. People with obesity are lazy by default. You just need more willpower. I don't have to handpick individual comments on social media to support this stance. It's a much more widely held belief. One study surveyed medical practitioners, and 1/3 of them categorized people with obesity as weak-willed, lazy, and sloppy. Half of them categorized people with obesity as awkward, unattractive, ugly, and non-compliant. Medical practitioners, actual physicians. Other research shows that weight bias also exists in the fitness industry. Shock. And obviously, the media. It doesn't take much searching to find some stereotypes that hit the headlines. I'm just going to come right out and say it. The idea that people with obesity simply lack willpower doesn't make a lot of sense once you scratch below the surface. Given that the upward trend in body weights seemed to start in the 1970s, did everyone just get together and suddenly decide to simultaneously decrease their willpower? Hi, is that America? Yeah, England here. We're thinking of just giving up now, what do you reckon? Oh, you're on board already? Sick. If this is a body fat percentage spectrum, and people at the higher ends are automatically classed as lacking willpower, doesn't that inadvertently classify everyone at the lower end as having willpower? We can all think of at least one person who doesn't exercise, doesn't give a shit what they eat, but they stay effortlessly thin. It is very easy to look outwards at someone else and make assumptions of their individual levels of willpower. So let's change the angle here. How easy do you find it right now to maintain your body weight? Pick a number out of 10. Let's say the hypothetical Harley puts themselves at a 5. They make a conscious effort to exercise and a conscious effort to regulate what they eat, but they don't find it exceedingly difficult. Now let's say someone came along to hypothetical Harley and cranked up their appetite dial to the max. For them to now maintain the same body weight they're at, it would take a lot more effort than it did before. And we have research that shows that appetite regulation can vary between people, and this can also be body weight dependent. We also have research showing that appetite can increase in response to weight loss. So for example, if you had a twin who always weighed less than you and you tried dieting down to match their body weight, your appetite might be significantly higher, which means it would take more effort on your behalf to maintain a body weight that they find relatively effortless. There are actually a lot of physiological differences between people that can make them more or less susceptible to weight gain. Did you know that if you put a group of people on the same exercise program standardized to burn the same number of calories, some people will lose more weight than others? Because some people will have compensatory increases in appetite, nudging them towards eating more. All of these bars represent individual subjects. Anyone you can see above the midline ate more in response to aerobic exercise, and anyone below the midline ate less. If exercise significantly increased your appetite, how much more difficult would you find it to maintain your body weight? Because it would change, right? Did you know that if you overfeed people by the same number of calories, some people will spontaneously increase their physical activity, which of course mitigates the weight gain that the surplus of calories would induce. i.e., some people would gain weight easier for the same stimulus. On the topic of metabolism, for reasons we don't really understand, some people's metabolic rate will decline more when dieting than other people's. This waterfall plot shows metabolic adaptation in individual subjects. That poor fucker you see on the far left burns 257 calories per day less than you would predict based on their body weight. But this lucky fucker on the right actually burns 163 more calories than you would predict based on their body weight. This means that the person on the far left would have to eat less or exercise more to the tune of 400 calories per day if they want to get the same results as the person on the far right who weighs the same as them. Would it be fair to say that both of them have the same degree of choice, or require the same magnitude of willpower? Emotional stimulus can also direct people in different directions. For example, some people are classified as stress eaters and they may gravitate towards eating more food when stressed, whereas other people may gravitate towards eating less. The same with sadness. Some people gravitate towards eating more when sad and others don't. Have you ever been in a really shit place emotionally and you can't regulate how much you eat irrespective of how hard you try? For some people it might be a single evening after a bad day at work. For other people it might be months after a breakup, and for others it might be years or decades after a family grievance. If someone said to you that they're eating more in response to depression, would you say to their face that they just need more willpower? Because fucking hell, therapists would be out of a job quickly, wouldn't they? Yes, I've looked at your notes and I can see that you're struggling with long-term grief. Have you tried increasing your willpower? When someone says obesity is a choice, it kind of sounds like these two choices are equal effort. Do I want to wear blue socks today or black socks? The point is, there are many reasons why these aren't always equal effort. For some people, one of the pairs of socks is much further away. For other people, the pair of socks is much, much further away. And sure, maybe some people don't want to go and get those socks, but some people genuinely do, even though their body fights back and makes it harder for them than it might be for other people. Nobody is actually saying that choices aren't involved in this scenario. We are just acknowledging that the level of willpower required is much, much more for some people. And when someone doesn't acknowledge those external factors and they make it sound like a very easy choice, they run the risk of coming across like a patronizing shit stain.